It's not often that you see rivals in college football agree on really anything regarding, well, anything. But this offseason has been pretty interesting with Nick Saban going to Congress testifying to try to regulate NIL and compensation for athletes and stuff like that. I'm gonna be honest too. I'm a little bit. I still feel lost in ways with everything said, everything going on, where we stand as far as what's fixing to happen, or what Congress or the NCAA or anybody's going to do. But we got to talk about this here. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Love and appreciate you guys. It's Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media. Uh, I'm reading from Tide 100.9, who it's a big Tuscaloosa radio station, home of the Crimson Tide and Alabama athletics. Stephen DeThrange put this out a couple days ago on July 6th. Alabama and Auburn jointly oppose the federal college sports bill supported by Saban. Of course, it was like the first. I'll say this: the first thing I saw when I saw this the other day, and it took a couple days to get around to being able to sit down and talk about this with y'all. Of course, I saw the link to it on Facebook. And of course, I went to the comments because I knew there were going to be Alabama and Auburn fans. It's mostly Alabama fans. Like, y'all can't agree with Auburn on nothing, man. Like, I get we're rivals. We hate each other. We're supposed to. It's the law. I get it. But I would say if something's going to either break or better the sport, that should be a case where rivalries can be set aside for a minute. You know, there were a bunch of Alabama fans. Oh, well, if Auburn likes this and they say this, oh, I'm going to back Saban because I don't want to be on the side of Auburn. Shut up. Anyway, a joint statement. I'm going to read most of this. In a joint statement released on Monday, signed by both universities' presidents and the chairman of their board of trustees, Alabama and Auburn voiced opposition, meaning they're not for it, to the Protect College Sports Act, urging the U.S. Senate not to advance it in its current form. That being said, they're not opposed to the act itself. They're not opposed to the bill itself. Notice that it said don't go through with it with its current form. That tells me that the presidents, maybe even the athletic directors such as Greg Byrne or whoever at Auburn, Greg Byrne, of course, in Tuscaloosa, but that tells me that they want to make some changes too, or if they could, they would. I don't know if they can. I'm gonna be honest. So anyway, they set aside their differences. The two flagship rivals argued that the bill falls short of its framing as a stabilizing measure for college athletics. They said it would undermine enforcement of rules established under the landmark House versus NCAA settlement, which we saw last year, and invite new rounds of litigation. It would also create a sweeping federal oversight apparatus which could impact roster decisions, game scheduling, internal governance. They said, and benefit private equity interests by pressuring universities to pool their media rights. Both institutions said they share Congress's stated goals, which include protecting student athletes, sustaining women in Olympic sports, and establishing a single national set of rules. But the four men contended the current bill does not solve those problems and also leaves core questions unresolved, inviting a very legal battles it claims to prevent. And then it goes on to say, Peter Mahler, who's our new president of Alabama, replacing Stuart Bell, who I believe just retired. Auburn's president, Dr. Christopher Roberts, the system board of trustees, Scott Phelps for Alabama, and then Auburn, the same thing, James Sanford. They signed the statement. Alabama and Auburn, and again, this is not the football teams. These are the schools themselves, like the people, the presidents, the not really the athletic directors, but anyways, Alabama and Auburn said they remain willing to work with their congressional delegation and members of both parties on legislation that holds up in court and genuinely addresses the challenges facing college sports. Um, and that pretty much ends that article. So there's that. If I'm missing anything, by the way, please hit me up in the comments because I'm not, because of how my brain is, autism, all that stuff. I'm not an expert at all this. I'm just kind of giving my 2 cents on it, right? I'm not here to say whether the bill's right or wrong. I don't know. But I feel like they kind of pointed and laughed at Nick Saban, which honestly, in a way, I don't blame him. I mean, it was kind of funny because Nick Saban went to Congress and said, we don't need interference and Congress being involved in college athletics, and we don't need this. We don't need interference from y'all. He did say that. And to which I replied, well, why are you here? Kind of thing. But anyways, um, Auburn and Alabama want to, as schools, and I'm sure they're not the only two schools, but it had come out through Alabama state sources or whatever. Um, they want to regulate NIL. They want to get help. They want government interference with this. Not too much, but they are not they're not against it, The they just don't like the quote unquote Protect College Sports Act that is been placed out this year, which it's supposed to set guidelines for NIL itself, its rights for players and athletes. It enforces transfer rules and protects student athletes' health and safety should anything come up, right? So Auburn and Alabama both kind of agreed that, yeah, it's not the worst idea in the world, but here's what you're missing on it. It could impact schedule. They are afraid there will be more interference from the government in regards to college football. They think, and look, I'm not here to say right or wrong. I don't know. But they're sitting there like, hey, this is a good idea, but have you thought about the long-term impacts of Congress and our government in the United States getting involved here? They are afraid, and I'm reading some of this, that the federal program could impact roster decisions. We'll get to some of this. Game scheduling. And it could ultimately micromanage college athletics. This is what we've been saying as college football fans. I've been saying it at least. Don't mix your politics in with sports. I don't even want it in pro sports, but college especially, man. And next thing you know, it's going to be in high school. Guarantee it. But I feel like both schools made a good point there. If they start, it's if Congress and the government want to govern NIL and everything, that's fine. But because they're our government and because you open the door and crack it open just a little bit, they could get a foot in. I guarantee you, one thing's going to lead to another, and then schools, the NCAA, athletic directors, take commissioners like Greg Sankey or whoever, they're not going to get a say eventually in college athletics and in their respective schools or conferences. I mean, am I crazy? Am I missing something? Tell me there's at least one or two people that agree on this. I mean, maybe I'm missing it. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. And if so, please correct me. I'm going to upload this. I'm going to let y'all hear my 2 cents on it. But it just, I don't know, man. I kind of, it would be nice to have regulation for NIL and stuff. But can the NCAA, can those in college athletics look at our government, look them in the face, and tell them what to do? I mean, it's a free country. It is. But you still got to, run by the law, right? I mean, at what point do we have a say, even as fans, what the fans want? It's about the fan. That's what college athletics is. It's for the players. It's for the fans, right? You credit the coaches. They do a hell of a job. Coaching staff does a hell of a job. That's fair. But at what point can we stand up as fans of college football or whatever sport it is in college? When can the players stand up? When can the coaches stand up and say enough is enough with Congress taking over our sport and our athletics and the NCAA and everything? This is what we want, and we can overrule it. I don't know. I got a lot going through my head on this. I want some feedback in the comments. I'd be happy to respond to y'all. I'd be happy to hear from you guys as well. I just think, man, like, I get Nick Saban going to testify about this, to help regulate it, right? And then Auburn and Alabama doing what they're doing, pointing the finger and laughing about Nick Saban and what he had to say, how we don't need Congress involved, but then, of course, they disagree. They want Congress to get involved so the students don't run the business and go haywire, whatever. I get that. But at some point, I mean, it's like a I don't know what you would call it, double edged sword. Is that right? I don't know, but it's like you agree with the idea. And my grandmother, who watches all of my videos, I guarantee it, she's like, "Have you seen the big picture though?" Because she's really good at seeing stuff and seeing stuff down the road and seeing it actually unfold. She's really good at not. It might not be exact all the time, but she's pretty good about seeing how things can unfold. And I can tell you this: I don't do that often. I don't see this unfolding that well, though. I don't. I just don't. I'm not saying I'm picking a side or not. I just don't think like. And there's got to be other ways to handle this. I mean, college football's changing. College athletics are changing. Do we still love the sport? Are we still going to watch? Some people might fall off. I'm always going to watch, unless it gets too much tech in the game or something. I don't know. It just don't change up like how you play football. Just the off the field stuff. I'm not letting impact me too much, but I don't know. I think that yes, you should get some government help. You need to regulate NIL and everything like that. Do you want to go to our Congress, our government for that? That might be your only option. But because they run the country and make laws and rules and stuff, just be careful what you wish for. Because they can take football and do a complete 180 and change the entire game in a way that nobody's going to love, and it's probably going to piss a lot of people off. Calling it what it is. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I love you. Jesus loves you. God bless. Roll Tide. Shout out to the Auburn fans out there, by the way, too. Nothing but love and respect. See you in November, I guess. But we'll see you soon here at BSM. Again, want some feedback in the comments. I love y'all, and I hope y'all have an amazing Wednesday afternoon. God bless.